What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV international break. You know what time it is. It's unpopular opinion time. You guys have just sent in so many. We're not going to be able to get through all of them, but we'll try our best. And shall we just get stuck into it?
Do it. My favourite time of year. Unpopular opinions. Come on.
COYS, unpopular opinion, a doggy is better than Spence.
Is that unpopular? Well, I would say, if you cast your mind back to last season, I guess you would say, do you remember there was that whole thing about, when Spence back, if Ange puts a doggy over him, then he hates Spence, and there's an agenda against him. Always there, Spence, deserves his chance. He's I wouldn't say people were saying he's better, but he deserved his chance. That was the narrative. I personally think a doggy's better. I've been pretty consistent on that, but I don't know. I don't know if it's unpopular. I mean, I think people like Spence.
I think back then when you were talking about was the Europa League game against Frankfurt, I think it was, when a doggy first came back in, where Spence was playing unbelievably well at that stage, and he still is. He's still playing really well. I think they're both very good players in their own rights. I think probably, I don't know, I kind of like to and fro on this one. I kind of flip-flop on this one with a doggy and Spence, but I very much believe that it's horses for courses. It depends who you're playing against, depends what kind of setup you want at that moment in time. If you want a more attacking setup, then you want to put a doggy in there. But if you want to focus more on defence first, you put Spence in there. I think Spence a better one-on-one defending, but I do feel like other aspects, the majority of other aspects, a doggy is probably better.
I just think he's a better fullback, especially on the left-hand side. If you've got a doggy and Spence on opposite sides, and you're asking me who's a better, I think at left back, for me, I want a doggy there over Spence. I think he gives us, it doesn't matter the game, in my opinion, I think he gives us a better dynamic. I think he has those physical attributes that Spence has. I think he gets forward a lot more direct and with a lot more purpose than Spence does. I think he helps us in keep our width. I much prefer having a doggy at left back for me than Spence. Not to say Spence is a bad left back. I just think a doggy's better there. But as a player, as a fullback in general, just like if we're taking the qualities of one player, the qualities of another player, who's better, I think it's a lot closer, because I think maybe Spence could perform very similar to how a doggy performs as a right back, as a doggy performs as a left back, if you know what I mean. So I think then it becomes a lot closer. So I think when I think about who's better, a doggy or Spence, my judgment is probably clouded by, I do just prefer a doggy at left back than I do.
To be fair though, with Spence's like right back versus left back, I think his better performances have come at left back as opposed to right back.
But the thing is, it's been so few and far between. He plays a right back now and then, and majority of performances are at left back. So I think if he got a run of games at right back, and he got into a bit of a rhythm, and got used to, again, playing on the outside. Because when he plays at left-back, it's a very different kind of performance. He has to cut inside. He plays a bit more inverted. He's always coming onto his right foot. Whereas if he played at right-back, like he did do at Forest, and I think you'd see a lot more similar performances to what a doggy does, getting to the byline, being a lot more adventurous going forward. We'll probably see him getting cutbacks and being a lot more direct. I feel like it just restricts him when he's at left back going forward.
Yeah.
I don't think it's totally his fault though. It's just natural when he's got he's quite right-footed. He doesn't use his left foot that much.
Having said that, a doggy don't have a penitentiary.
And so that's just that's true. I mean that's just like a meme, but it's true he doesn't have a penitentiary. But you got to remember, as I say, in the doggy's early days, we were talking about him locking up very good wingers. I think it's very close when it comes to who's actually a better player. If we're talking about left back, I prefer a doggy. When it comes to who's actually a better player, I probably, I don't know. I'd like to see Spence get a run of games at right back.
Regardless, I don't think this is unpopular. So it's not an unpopular opinion, so sorry about that. Next up, Jacob COYS says, removing Levy was just a PR move and the club will continue to operate in the same way. They are saying things we want to hear, just giving lip service. The club will not be competitive under Enoch. And I think, I'm not sure if that's, is that too unpopular? I think I've heard a lot of people say similar stuff to that. I think a lot of people are just giving giving it time and just seeing where it takes us, because the reality is we are going into the unknown.
I think unpopular opinions is like something people don't want to hear. And I think that is probably something people don't want to hear.
But people do hear it a lot.
People hear it, but I don't think people want to hear it.
Yeah, I just think an unpopular opinion is an opinion that is unpopular in terms of not many people hold that opinion. But look, the reality is with ENIC, are they giving lip service or not? This could be right. It very well could be right. But we don't know until the proof is in the pudding. And all we know right now is that they say they want to be more successful on the pitch. There's been a massive restructuring of the backroom staff. They've pumped money, a bit of money, which they tell us is the first lot of money coming into the club. And we'll have to wait and see how they attack the transfer windows.
I think he is absolutely spot on, apart from that last sentence, to be honest. I think the only thing that obviously we don't know is this club will not be competitive under ENIC. I don't know that. I think we're doing things better, potentially, like spending more money, being smarter in the market. We've got Frank in. We've got a few adjustments to our approach.
So you think sacking Levy was just a PR move?
Most likely, yeah. I don't think it was. I don't know. Was it a PR move? It was something to win the fans over, get the fans more on board, because he was obviously unpopular. It was. Was it? Did they sack him because they want to have better? They want to improve the footballing side. I don't know. I don't really buy it. I don't know what their ulterior motives were for sacking him, but I don't believe they just got rid of him because they thought we need to do better on the pitch. I'm just not buying it. We will continue to operate in the same way. I think it'll be I think maybe not totally the same, because I think we've obviously invested 100 million. I think there will be a bit more money there, but I don't see it being a massive departure. I think it'll be similar to how we were operating, but with more money, essentially, which is, I guess, a bit different. It depends how much more. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to start seeing windows now 400 million is my point. I don't know. I don't.
We don't need to see windows of 400 million. We just need to see us smash that wage structure.
Yeah. Which, again, I think it will increase, but it had to increase anyway. I think you can't continue this wage structure in perpetuity. It's going to have to increase at some point. And I think if Levy was still here, it probably would have increased at some point anyway. I don't know if it would have been now, but it probably would have. And I think it will increase now. Would it increase to 400,000 a week or 350? I don't know. I still think it's not going to increase as much as you think it will. Maybe it'll go to 300. I'd like to see that. Maybe 300 are very top. I doubt we're going to start giving people more than 300 grand a week.
I mean, not many other clubs do.
Well, that's the point. That's the ones we want to compete with.
Yeah, but those clubs that you're talking about, like 300, 350 is their kind of cap anyway. Like not many players in the Premier League are over 300, 350 grand a week.
City, Liverpool, Arsenal,
they're all around that. Apart from Erling Haaland and like very few specific players, there are not many players over 300, 350 grand a week in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right about that. But I don't know if that's going to be our ceiling. Obviously, we want to start giving players more. We only have X amount of players on 100 grand, right? So that has to change. I think this part is right. They are saying things we want to hear just to give lip service. I think that's true.
The wage structure under Levy in the past couple of years was disgusting, to be honest, in terms of wage to turnover, wage to revenue, whatever metric you want to go by, like compared to any other club in the Premier League. It was nothing short of disgraceful. Last season, we had, I think, 4 players on over 100k. When you look at Arsenal, a team that we want to be competing with, they only had 4 players in the whole squad that was under 100. Like, it was disgustingly low. So, we need to smash the wage structure of what it's been. We'd have to. And I believe that we will.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if we're all of a sudden going to jump from a wage revenue from 40% to 60% or something, straight away. I don't know. Maybe we will, but I'm not certain about that. I think they do just give lip service, to be honest. They do just say the things we want to hear. But then again, right now, they have invested 100 million, so we'll see if they're going to back it up with actions. But
we don't know. We're going into the complete unknown. We don't know until we hit a few transfer windows and see how we manage it. So, look, it could very well be right, but at this moment in time, it's impossible to tell.
Yeah, of course. All right. Next one.
Yeah, Tell is the Son successor.
From Turomuo.
You better hope not.
Well, I think he's trying to say that Tell will be good enough to succeed to succeed Son.
Yeah, well, not right now. He's not.
No, not right now. He's 20 years old.
Is he saying that, or is he saying that just Tell is our Son replacement?
I guess you could look at it either way. Yeah, I think when it comes to who's in the squad, who's got the right profile to replace Son, I would say it is Tell. He's probably the one closest to how Son likes to play. Obviously, he's only got, this season, 1 goal. He has been struggling with confidence. But I think he's got quality. I don't know if he's going to be Son's successor. Maybe he will. But he has to show a lot more, of course, right now. I think in terms of like finishing ability, that some of the finishes I've seen from Tell, like a lot of them are very Son-esque. And I don't think a lot of the other wingers in the squad have that in their locker like Tell does, to be honest.
Please don't put Tell and Son in the same sentence right now. Like,
I'm not saying he's as good as Son.
We can talk about profiles till the cows come home, but being Son's successor is something completely different. You need to be at world-class elite ability and elite application and elite everything to be Son's successor. Right now,
Son wasn't elite at everything.
Huh?
He wasn't elite at everything.
He was elite at what he did. He was elite.
He was elite at what he was good at.
Yeah, and Tell is nowhere near elite at anything just yet because he's a young player coming through. Yeah, 100%. I don't disagree with that. But we need someone here and now that is going to take the mantle off Sonny. Sonny's gone now, so we need someone that is going to fit in straight away on the left-hand side. We can't wait 2 or 3 or 4 years for Tell to get there. Like, he can be in the squad and he can be a squad player till then, but I'm talking about having a Son successor right now, and he's not that.
But no, he's not. He is not good enough right now to take up the mantle that Son has left. But could he, over a longer period, be that player, that goal-scoring winger that potentially Son has fill that void down the line? I'm not gonna rule that out.
I can't rule out anyone doing anything down the line in 3-4 years' time. Or
I mean, I would say Odegaard would never be that. He's not that kind of player, but Tell potentially could be.
But Odegaard can maybe do it in a different way and be a top player for us. When I talk about Son's successor, I don't mean having the exact attributes that Son has and picking up that way. I'm talking about being a top-class, world-class left winger for us that can get us consistent goals and assists. That's what I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be the same profile.
Okay.
It can be someone. It can be anyone on the left wing that brings us consistent performances that Son used to bring us. That's what we need. It doesn't have to be the same profile.
So maybe it's Kudus.
Yeah, but he's on the right.
So why does that matter? It's
Why
just
is
a
it?
winger.
What do you mean it's just a winger?
It's just a winger. Like, why does it matter what side they're on?
Because one's on the right, because Son was a left winger.
Okay, but
we need someone to fill the void on that space that he left.
Okay, but we got Kudus. We needed a world-class winger. Maybe Kudus is that successor then.
No, because we need one on the right and the left.
Yeah.
Kudus is...
We never had one on the right.
You're right. We never had one on the right, but we should have had one on the right. We should have. Kudus is the successor to Aaron Lennon.
What about Kane's successor? Are we ever going to have that?
Probably not,
Probably
but we
never.
need that as well.
All right, next one.
Back the manager. #back the manager says we can upgrade Porro. He gets beat too many times, and I think if we had a midfielder who can hit those line-breaking passes through balls to the front three, we wouldn't really miss Porro's passing. If the midfielder conditions met, I'd rather Spence at right back.
I don't know if I agree with that first bit. We can upgrade on Porro, because I think when you look at right backs in Europe, I don't know how many are better than Porro. I'm not saying he's the best, but I'm just saying how many would you want to sign to upgrade on him? Like, that is realistic. You know, you can talk about Hakimi, and there's a lot of good right backs out there, don't get me wrong, but Porro is up there in the league, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of Porro, but I do kind of agree that if we had someone with a bit more elite passing ability, would we need that passing ability from Porro as much? And could we be maybe a more solid team with Spence there, with a number 6 with just like elite passing ability, and then all of a sudden we don't have that maybe fear that sometimes we have with Porro right back, where he can get done sometimes.
Yeah. I'm not too sure. I mean, Pedro Porro, I think for him to get to like a world-class elite level at right back, he needs to improve his defending, in my opinion. I know, you're going to go back to Trent Alexander-Arnold and he doesn't really have that defensive side to his game, but he's struggling at Real Madrid, to be honest. And I love Pedro Porro. I think he's a top quality player. I would like to see him get more crosses in the box and show that ball-playing ability even more. I feel like he showed it a lot more under Range than he has done so far in the early days of Thomas Frank, so I want to see it more. But, yeah, I don't think that we should look or we need to look to upgrade on Pedro Porro, but we do need to give him help.
Yeah, and obviously Spence hasn't been playing in that position too much, has he?
Yeah.
So but the problem is we only have one. We have one fullback who's back up from 2 positions, or even first choice. So yeah, that's a problem. I don't know. I wouldn't say we should upgrade on Porro, or we can even right now.
That definitely is an unpopular opinion, though. So well done on that one.